Is probably one of my favorite of the Galaxy S line. This is the Galaxy S3, and I really think this is when this became really popular. So this actually was this was like a standard model across the carriers, and I just think it looks so good. It's not a huge departure from the second generation, but you can see it has more rounded edges. It has this like really pretty looking color and kind of metallic look to it on the screen underneath the glass, and it has the home key, and it just looks really good. So I don't know, this one has always been near and dear to me because I remember seeing these and absolutely loving the way they looked. So on the front here, you see we have the Samsung branding there at the top, that kind of brushed metallic look all around the front. We have our camera, we have our ambient light sensor, we have our earpiece. So the phone came out in May of 2012. Came with, you could get it with 16, 32, or 64 gigs of integrated storage, expandable, micro SD, and it has a 4.8-inch screen. So we went from a 4.5 on the S2 to a 4.8. We have an 8-megapixel camera on the back that does 1080p, and it does it at 1080p at 30 frames per second. It does include the LED flash, as I said. 1 gig of RAM. Battery went up too, so this is a 2100 milliamp hour battery. Still user replaceable, so you can pop the back off and replace that. Add your micro SD card in there if you want to. So the display actually got much improved, so it went from a 480p display to a 720p display. So this was a huge upgrade from the S2, and it's just crazy to see how quickly these just got better and better and better over the years. So it's a 1280 by 720 pixel display, 16 by 9 aspect ratio, 306 pixels per inch. Corning Gorilla Glass 2 originally came with Android 4.0.4 Ice Cream Sandwich and ended with 4.3 Jelly Bean. And it says it came with an Exynos 4412, but I don't think that this one specifically came with that. The international version, I believe, came with the Exynos, and this one has, let's see, quad-core 1.4 gigahertz Cortex A9. I'll have to actually look at that. So here is our lock screen, and you can see it didn't deviate too much from the S2, and you can have your shortcuts there, and you basically just pick whatever you want there, your little shortcut, and you see that ripple. We all recognize the ripple. Now, the display on this looks really, really nice. 720p just looks so good on this. Let's see what version we're running here. I think this is 4.3, but, and surprisingly, this wasn't up to date when I got it. It was still on 4.2. So let's see. The only thing I didn't like is that what they changed was how they had the menu system. I just like it being all in one, but they had to put it in categories, and the categories don't really make a lot of sense, so you kind of can't figure out where things are. So let's see, more. All right, location services. All right, about device, there we go. Okay, so we have 4.3, and my specific model is the SPH L710, and this one is the Sprint model here. So one thing that kind of surprised me was that this actually got updated to 4.4. When I first got this, it had 4.1, and I updated it to Jelly Bean 4.3, and just checked today, and it actually had this update pop up, and said it couldn't update because it had not enough space. So I tried to delete the cache, and there's a security policy that doesn't let me do that, and I think that's a Samsung thing. So I ended up having to boot it into recovery mode, and then wiping the cache, and then I was able to reboot and do the update. All right, just to give you a little tour of the Galaxy S3. So we have on the top here, we have a silver earpiece. We have Samsung branding. We have our sensors there, as well as our camera. On the bottom here, we do have our home key, and then we have our capacitive keys, which are backlit. You can see this kind of metallic look as I was showing you before. On the back here, we do still have a removable back. We have our camera here in the center, LED flash next to it, and then the speaker on the right, still rear facing. On the side here, we do have our sleep wake key. On the other side, we have our volume rocker. On the bottom there, we do have our micro USB port, as well as a microphone right there. And then on the top, we have another microphone there and our 3.5 millimeter headset jack. All right, so now I wanted to give you a quick look at the performance of it. So it has been updated to Android 4.4.2, and I'll go ahead and give you a look here. So going between the home screens, not too bad. I did notice it did lag quite a bit if you had multiple applications open. Here's our menu system here. And so everything is really fluid, pretty nice, works pretty well. Play Store, a little sluggish, takes a bit. You can see we get a little bit of sluggishness going on here. We'll go ahead and try a YouTube video to see how well that works. And everything's been updated to its most recent version. A little bit of sluggishness, not terrible though. So the speaker on this is also rear facing.
Measles is one of the most contagious diseases we know. Just one person is likely to infect between 12 and 18 people.
So our speaker is on the back here.
That number is called a disease's basic reproduction number, or RNOP. Scientists use it to describe how contagious a disease is.
So it does get pretty loud, not too bad.
Up to 6.6, so pretty soon you feel sick and you
So we still have our preview there, and it actually is catching up just fine.
None of us have had it before.
So quite a bit better than the S2 handled it.
How long it takes you to feel sick. From the moment
Let's see how long it takes to look at comments and stuff.
It usually takes 5 days before you start to feel symptoms, but it can take as long as 12 or even 14 days. This is the incubation period.
Yeah, so much better performance than the S2.
Realize you're sick.
However, I didn't try this on the previous version that I had on here, so I previously thought this only ended at 4.3, ended at 4.4, but yeah, performance not too bad. One thing I did notice here, probably true for the S2 and the Galaxy S, is the internet browser that's included does not work because everything is HTTPS and it just does not want to actually work. So don't be mad for me picking CNN, but if that works, then I'm surprised. Seems to be loading it, but yeah, see, nothing. Well, it actually still popped up, but still gave an error. Anything with an HTTPS is just not. So I went to Sprint's website, and it just kind of doesn't load at all. It says temporary webpage not available. So you have to get something else. So I did download Chrome. I'll try that real quick. So we'll try Sprint's website. This is a Sprint phone. That's the only reason I'm trying it, because that was the first website I tried to go to. And I'm not sure why it has this weird refresh rate going on here. But yeah, so the website actually works here. So we're good there. Try another one here. And this is the only one that does this on the camera. It's just really weird. So we can sort of scroll when it starts to load. It's still just... So it handles the internet not terribly. It does a pretty decent job. We'll try ESPN. If I can get the... There we go. Yeah, so it still loads and does a pretty decent job. However, you have to use Chrome or an alternate web browser because the included one does not work. So, unfortunate, but... Alright, so if we go here, we'll go ahead and go open this game here. So this is the same game I tried in the S2, and this one did have to download additional content. This one also gave me the error, the same error saying that it's not supported or it'll have problems, but it'll probably still perform better. It definitely loads faster. Alright, so we have this issues detected, just telling me that it's you know, gonna give possible known issues. Okay, and we're now in our tutorial. Yeah, I don't see any stuttering or anything, really. It's handling it pretty well. Yeah, try to drive with one hand. You guys, it doesn't work. Anyway. So that worked out pretty well. That definitely loaded faster, definitely did better than the S2, as it should have. Performance is still pretty good for it being, you know, an older phone. I did notice another thing too, and this is probably true for the S2 and the Galaxy S, is the app support is definitely limited now. You do have some big names on there, you know, you can download Facebook and Twitter and all that good stuff on here. But some other apps just don't show up. So I did look for like the Google keyboard, that didn't show up. You still have launchers you can use on this. And the camera's pretty decent too. So in just a moment here, I'll put up some photos that I did take earlier today, and so you can get an idea of how it looks here. And here's a sample of the video on the Galaxy S3. But yeah, anyway, so that's the Galaxy S3, and not too bad. Definitely one of my favorite phones out of the collection I have here.
Okay, so guys, if you like this video, slap that like button down below. If you want to see some more, press the subscribe button also down below, and then hit that bell. I'll see you guys in the next video.